I was just in China, and the trip really divided into two parts. The first part of the trip I spent with entrepreneurs. And the entrepreneurs I met with in China looked very much like the entrepreneurs that you'd see in Silicon Valley. In fact, very similar. Now, these entrepreneurs were not entirely tech, but a lot of them are technology, just like the entrepreneurs would be represented in this country. You could have closed your eyes and imagined that you were either in Silicon Valley or China based upon the level of conversation that you were having there. The second part of the trip was I attended a board meeting of Tsinghua SEM, that's the School of Management in China, and their goal is nothing short of educating the best students in China who are interested in business careers and to make them the best leaders they can be in China and for China with respect to the rest of the world. And it obviously reflects the specific needs of China, but it's a reflection of China's role in the world and their ambition for their role in the world. As far as the mood in China, China's going through a number of difficult transitions now, but difficult in the context of an economy that's had absolutely amazing growth for a long period of time. And so we're registering a slowdown in China. Just imagine it, growth 7.2 or 7.3 is a slowdown in the context of China, but obviously wouldn't be a slowdown anywhere else in the world. I would say that the growth of China from 0 to 7% is regular, normal growth of a country in which people are going from the villages to the city, the rise of a middle class in China, and just the development of the economy, and maybe the growth from 7% to 10%. The last part of the growth represented such a steep part of the curve and such an increment of speed that there was a loss of discipline in some respect. And now, that discipline may have been a good sacrifice to make in some part of its development, but now there's an effort to throttle back and regain that discipline. Now, what do I mean by discipline? What are the inefficiencies of that last increment of growth? Well, if you're going to grow, again, up to 7%, fine. The next 3% of growth is going to happen because you run your factories flat out, and you don't put pollution controls on, and you build your factories and plants and utilities close to the city where people have to breathe, and you put a lot of soot into the air, and you really impinge on the quality of life. That's the cost of that headlong growth, as opposed to more disciplined kind of growth. It also created another kind of inefficiency. If you're going to stimulate and drive that kind of growth and spend that kind of money so quickly, there may be an indiscipline in the decision-making process, and there may be some corruption. And, pollution is a kind of an environmental corruption, and maybe there is some corruption in the capital allocation process, too, when growth occurs so quickly. So I'd say there are two big themes in the campaigns that you see in China. One is to do something and arrest the pollution in China, and there's another campaign to arrest what they perceive as some of the corruption in China. I continue to believe that the long-term trajectory of China is up, and the steepness of that upward movement is going to shift from time to time. It's not going to be a straight line, but I've said this in other contexts. I can't be sure that 2014 is going to be China's year or 2015 will be China's year, but I have no doubt that this will be China's century.